What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, I want to tell you all a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin, because I do think that this is starting to become a better and better time to buy, and I want to explain why. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, please don't forget, I do have a second channel that is linked down below, and in the last 2 days, I've been talking about some more fundamental reasons as to why I'm buying Bitcoin right now. I talked about 5 reasons why from a metric analysis I thought it was a good time to buy, and I talked about a major signal that's flashing from more of a fundamental perspective for Bitcoin in yesterday's video, so make sure you do go check out the second channel down below. It'll be the first link in the description. But today we're going to focus more on a technical perspective and take a look at what's happening with its charts. Now, what we can see here is, of course, that Bitcoin has now recently been continuing this move downwards from this ascending wedge. Now, in the last video on this channel, I told you all about the fact that I think ascending wedges historically are a key signal that you should get ready for a pullback, right? Especially when you see a downtrend, a recovery, and some sort of ascending channel of this nature. The typicality here is that you will break towards the downside, that you will continue lower, try to find some type of macro high or low, and then try to continue back upwards. And so, of course, because of that, when we saw this back test right here, when we saw Bitcoin's price back test towards this level, I told you all, look, I'm going to start getting some buys ready because I think we're coming down towards these buy zones. Now, knowing that, of course, and keeping that in mind, what we're paying attention to now is if Bitcoin is capable of holding some support within our buy zone here. Typically speaking, the way in which you can determine where Bitcoin is going to try to find some support is quite simply just looking at this ascending level of support that it broke down, and you're going to look at all the times in which we hit that line, right? So we hit the line here, we hit it right there, we hit it right here, right here, right here. This is going to mark all of the levels in which you're going to find some macro support. This is going to mark exactly where you can expect Bitcoin to try to find a bounce off to the upside. And as you can see here, interestingly enough, as we hit this first breakdown level, which of course you can say like 1, 2, 3, and 4, for example, you can see we came down to number 1 and we tried to bounce. Well, now we lost it yesterday and we came down to number 2, and now that we're at number 2, we're trying to bounce off of it right now. And you can see that these breakdown zones in which we're identifying are operating well, and we're seeing Bitcoin react to them, which is a strong sign that there is a good likelihood that Bitcoin does try to find some support above, in between here and $54,000, and try to continue some sort of move back to the upside. Now, of course, there's no guarantees, and Bitcoin's price could just go through all of them and end up continuing back down towards 48K. But in my opinion, the amount of bullish pressure that will have been put on the bears right here is going to slow them down so much that even if Bitcoin's price does reach these lower levels, it's not going to stay there very long. Very similar to what we saw right here, because not only is this a macro level of support from the structure, it's also a ton of macro support from what we saw right here and what we saw right here. And if we go out a little bit further, you can see we found a ton of resistance in the previous bull market right here as well. And so knowing that, obviously, I do think now is a decent time to buy, and I will be buying while Bitcoin does sit between like the $58,000 and $54,000 level. Now, from a 4-hour perspective, you can also see that we did recently just start getting some of our buy zone targets printing. Of course, what you can see here is we got the buy zone print right here, right before we made this beautiful retracement back to the upside, in which we saw about a 6% pump there, and we just recently, a few hours ago, saw another buy zone print here. And so that does typically imply that this could be a moment of overextension, especially on the 4-hour charts, and it is a good time to buy. And so overall, in my opinion, I definitely am doing some dollar cost averaging here, and I will continue to buy while Bitcoin is between $58,000 and $54,000. So if you do want to do some trading on Bitcoin yourself, I do highly encourage you to check out the link down in the description below to Margex. If you do sign up with Margex, you don't need to KYC, meaning you don't need to tell them who you are, and you also don't need to use a VPN. You can just get on the platform, start trading some crypto on leverage up to 100x, and also I want you to remember you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses, and they just recently announced a $500,000 Casper airdrop for active traders. So go get trading, go start checking it out, get you some free Casper, check it out down in the links below. But again, guys, where we're at with Bitcoin right now is a good one, I think. And it's always good when your technicals, which means your charts, right? Your technical analysis aligns extremely well with your fundamental analysis, and everything is telling me this is a good time to dollar cost average. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. September historically is a rough month for crypto, so we could see the rest of this month kind of red, but I do think the rebound off of this month will be extremely well, leaving a lot of the purchases done in this month to some victory, right? To some green. And so, of course, I will continue to update you here on the channel, letting you know exactly what's going on with Bitcoin, Solana, and many other altcoins and things of that nature. So, of course, if you do enjoy, you can always let me know easily and simply by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.